So this is random. This is it's just I have a lot that's really heavy on my mind, and so I just need to let it out and release it. So this is going to be a life update slash weight loss update video. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is pretty much losing friends after losing weight. And to me, I just feel like, I don't know, you just don't feel like you would lose friends because you're trying to better yourself or you're trying to improve who you are as an individual, but it happens. And recently I went through an experience of being friends with a group of girls that they've probably known me maybe 2 years, and you know, they knew me during a time in my life where it was very dark. I was very miserable, I was very unhappy, and I was just going through a lot. So the person that they knew wasn't really who I was. It wasn't the person that I am. And I felt like, you know, they became accustomed and attached to an individual that was not me. And you know, when you're going through a depression or when you're going through hard times and you're just trying to figure out life, you're not yourself. So one of the things that I've experienced is that now that I am out of that misery and I'm out of that dark space in my life, I find myself, you know, well, I just feel like with them, because we were friends or we met during that period where I was going through my depression, I was going through a dark time in my life, I felt like I lost those friends. But the people who have been friends with me and even family, they feel like they're still here, and there's no difference, there's no change. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because one of my main concerns with losing weight and deciding to have weight loss surgery is that I never wanted to change as far as my personality, me being outgoing, me being goofy, and just me speaking my mind and things like that. But also I never wanted to be the girl who lost weight and then decided to treat people in her life, like her friends or her family, like shit. So I told my family and my friends that if I was acting different, or if I felt like I had a chip on my shoulder, if I just wasn't acting humble, whatever the case may be after my weight loss surgery, I wanted them to sit me down and tell me, you know what I mean? I wanted that open line of communication. But there's a difference, and I'm going to explain. So I have this group of friends and family on this side who practically have known me my entire life. I've had friends who I've known since 6th grade. We still communicate, we still talk. They're like my best friends. I consider them family, you know? So I have friends and family over here, and then I have the friends that maybe have known me a year or two over here. So one of the things that I've noticed, and it probably didn't start, I didn't start noticing it until about 1.5 years out from my weight loss surgery. And pretty much it was just a simple fact that I started seeing how these group of friends on this side were acting different towards me. And what I mean by acting different, you know, I just felt like I was being talked about. When I wasn't around, I just felt like it wasn't genuine. I just felt hated. I just felt unwanted, but they still dealt with me, you know what I mean, on this side. And then on this side, you know, nothing's changed. If nothing else, our friendship and my relationships with my parents, my brothers, my friends, just all on this side, it's like all good. They're proud of me, they're happy for me. It's like they're seeing me evolve into this person, the person that you see. And then on this side, I felt like, you know, it wasn't genuine. They weren't really happy for me. You know, it was rare that they ever complimented me on my success with weight loss and things like that. And then also on this side, I also felt like they felt that I had changed, and you know, in a bad way, versus they felt I had evolved, but in a good way. So I was just trying to balance out the different type of relationships in my life, and it's very hard to do. And you know, one of the things that happened with these group of friends is that, you know, I started noticing, you know, the different body languages, and I started seeing the differences between my relationships with my friends on this side versus my relationships with my friends on this side. And you know, I always just felt like I was the outsider after a while. Like I just felt like there was an inside joke and I wasn't included. So when I started noticing that, I started distancing myself from this group of friends, because I just felt like I'm one of those people where I don't feel like I have to have friends. And that's the thing about me, is that, you know, you got other people looking from the inside, from the outside in, and they're thinking, oh, she's this and she's that. But when it comes down to it, I don't feel like I have to have friends. Like, as long as I have my family, I'm okay. You know, if I don't have my family, then there's a problem. But as long as I have my family, I'm fine. I don't feel like I have to have a bunch of friends. I don't feel like I need friends. Like, I honestly, you know, and what I mean by friends, I mean like associates. Now, the friends that I'm talking about on this side, I consider them family, so that's different. I need my family. But as far as associates, people to do stuff with, I don't feel like I need those type of people around me. I don't feel like it's necessary. And in some cases, I enjoy being by myself. And I feel like that could come out very intimidating to people that you associate yourself with, because you don't feel the need to call them every time you want to do something. You just go out and you do it yourself. So it can be kind of intimidating, and it may even send like the wrong type of message to your associate friends. But yeah, so I've been dealing with a lot of just people who I thought were my friends really aren't my friends, and just people who, you know, aren't really down for me. Like, they don't want to see me at my best. They don't want to see me succeed. They don't want to see me do well. They don't want to see me prosper in life, you know. And that's something that I was dealing with. But one of the main things is that I had to really see the difference in relationships and friendships, and that was the main thing. And in the end, I ended up, because I distanced myself, we're not friends anymore. And I'm okay with that. I feel like it's for the best, it's for the better. It's kind of what I wanted to begin with. That's kind of why I started distancing myself from them, because I already had that vibe. And whenever I get vibes, I go with that. I don't second guess it. I don't think, well, maybe they're just da-da-da. I don't do that. I distance myself. I don't explain anything, and I remove myself from the situation.